Republican Lee Zeldin of New York. I kind of felt like you deposing her there. The congressman sits on the House Foreign Affairs Committee, maybe even asking some of the questions that you might ask, Congressman. Thank you for being with me. What does this tell us about the Mueller investigation?
Well, for one, the president, who has personal knowledge that he didn't do anything wrong, he continues to cooperate. He's answering questions. A lot of documents have been provided. This investigation appears to be going well beyond, with this ever-expanding scope that is a lot further than the purpose for creating and appointing the special counsel in the first place. The president is ready for this investigation to end, but what's more important than that is our country is ready for it to end. So the Mueller investigation hopefully is one that will be winding down soon, because it really is improper for there to be an investigation like this throughout the entire time that President Trump is in office. I, as a member of Congress, I'm serving this is the end of my fourth year now. I'm not aware of any evidence whatsoever that the president had colluded with the Russians. So until we come in contact with any information whatsoever, the justification for not only continuing this investigation, but also expanding the probe, like what we're seeing, well beyond of why it was created in the first place, we have a lot of members of Congress who have a problem with that too.
All right, Michael Cohen, were you surprised at all about the entry of a guilty plea, if you will, that he put in this morning, lying to Congress?
Well, what strikes me about it is that Mueller's star witness has now admitted to being a liar criminally. And I'm a former prosecutor, and looking for facts and elements of a crime, I see so much that is missing about what gets alleged maybe in the news, or those who want to take down the president, who are desperate, who are praying to take down the president and his family. There's so much that is missing here, and now you have a star witness who has less credibility than he did yesterday, and an investigation that has less credibility than it did yesterday. And it seems like one indictment and guilty plea after another of what we're seeing it is getting away from the heart of why this special counsel was created in the first place, and that was for there to be accountability and transparency with regards to whether or not the Russians interfered with the 2016 election. And so much of the crimes that get pursued are completely unrelated to the Trump campaign, and a lot of what is taking down these individuals, like what we're seeing today with Michael Cohen, is with regards to lying. And by the way, regardless of whether it's this case or any other case, and you just had Senator Kennedy share his thoughts in the last segment, is whether you're talking to Congress, you're talking to the Department of Justice, it's really important to be honest, because if you lie, you're going to get in trouble for it.
Yeah, I spoke with Senator Kennedy last night on the story, and that's exactly what he was saying. Real quickly before I let you go, how do you make a deal with what you call a criminal liar? I mean, he's striking yet another deal. And is it significant that he's doing it in your state of New York or in any state?
Well, with regards to that piece, geography and jurisdiction, is that you don't need a special counsel to be going after so much of what it appears Bob Mueller is looking into now. The Department of Justice can handle that on its own. And also, why, with Jeff Sessions, he's left the Department of Justice. The reason why this was created really started with, it stemmed from a recusal made by Jeff Sessions as the Attorney General. So now let's get back to normalcy within the Justice Department. Let's have an Attorney General who's in charge of the DOJ, because to your point on jurisdiction and geography, and this happening in New York, this really can be happening all under the normal chain of command of the Department of Justice, as opposed to making the special counsel even bigger than it was before.
Does Michael Cohen lessen the years in prison that he might have to spend by doing this deal making?
Probably. I mean, that's probably the whole motive for doing it in the first place, is to be able to get favorable treatment. And there's a lot that Michael Cohen has gotten in trouble with that's completely unrelated to President Trump. This was Michael Cohen's own actions, and looks like he's cutting a deal to get favorable treatment for himself, even if that might be harming a president of the United States. It might be embarrassing our justice system. It's Michael Cohen doing what's best for Michael Cohen, regardless of the consequences. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, I don't know. I had not heard anybody put it the way you did, criminal liar. How do you trust that person? How do you cut a deal with somebody like that?
No credibility.
Congressman, thank you so very much. Congressman Lee Zeldin of New York. Good to see you.